Good evening. Airport managers are warning tonight that cuts in airline links from London are threatening the region's economy. They are to plead at a conference next week for government help to preserve the remaining services between Leeds Bradford Airport and Heathrow. They claim millions of pounds in foreign investment to the region could be lost by the flow of passengers to airlines abroad.
Humberside Airport's already lost its service to the capital. It's feared the same fate awaits many more, including Leeds Bradford. Now regional airport managers are meeting to demand help from the government. They say Heathrow is pricing internal flights off its runways.
Regional airports throughout the country need a facility to be able to fly to their capital airport because it has an important knock-on effect to the business enterprise of the local economy.
Last year, 40,000 passengers flew from Humberside to Amsterdam, nearly half to catch long-haul flights. But many would rather fly through Heathrow, impossible since the route was suspended. Amsterdam Schiphol Airport is forced to accept domestic flights by the Dutch government's transport policy. Managers here say they're benefiting from Heathrow's high landing charges.
An F-27, like the one that is operated to Humberside, I think at Heathrow they count 350 or 400% more landing charges than we do over here in Amsterdam.
Back in Britain, second division airports like Leeds Bradford are also threatened. As well as landing charges, the lure of more profitable routes could rob the regions.
Recently, Liverpool has lost its Heathrow service because the airline concerned has chosen to use that Heathrow slot to operate into Europe. So we're being attacked in two directions.
Heathrow denies trying to drive out smaller airliners. It says it's reduced landing fees and improved its domestic terminal. But 4 destinations have already disappeared from its arrival boards. The regional airports say British Airlines are losing millions to Holland's KLM alone.
A baby's body found in a river near Harrogate has been identified as that of the missing 5-month-old girl, Tara Calnan. Police frogmen recovered her body from the River Nid today, 10 days after her disappearance.
The baby's body was seen floating in a remote part of the River Nid near Bilton Viaduct at Harrogate by a man out walking his dog. The area is 3.5 miles from Killinghall Bridge, where the hunt for Tara began on April the 14th, after her mother allegedly phoned a friend claiming she'd put the baby in the river. The mother, Maxine Davis, had travelled 120 miles from her home in Leicestershire. Davis, who's 29, is now in custody, charged with attempting to cause grievous bodily harm to the child. I asked the head of Harrogate CID, Detective Chief Inspector Colin Hallinan, if other charges were now being considered.
The file will be prepared when inquiries are complete, hopefully within the next few days. And that will be submitted to the Crown Prosecution Service, who in consultation with ourselves will consider whether further charges are in fact appropriate.
Today, Tara's father, who's not been named, identified the body. The grim discovery was made at the halfway point of a 7-mile stretch of water from Killinghall to Knaresborough, which had been at the centre of the police search. An inquest into baby Tara's death is expected to be opened in the next few days.
Nearly 100 firemen tackled a major blaze at Knaresborough near King's Lynn tonight, which has severely damaged the town's maltings. They fought for several hours to control the fierce flames at the maltings, now used as industrial units. The fire is believed to have started in pallets made in one of the units. Firemen battled against strong winds, which fanned the flames. There was no danger to life, but nearby buildings were evacuated as a precaution. The A47, which was closed between King's Lynn and Swaffham, has now been reopened. 11 men have been arrested in Bradford by police investigating soccer hooliganism. Similar early morning raids were carried out at Stockport in Greater Manchester. This report from Chris Kiddie.
The raids followed a by now familiar pattern, officers setting out at dawn to pre-arranged destinations in Bradford. They made arrests in Homewood, Buttershaw, West Bowling and Fagley. Officers broke down the door of this house in Fagley, though, only to discover they'd got the wrong address. It's understood those arrested, suspected members of the so-called Ointment Gang who follow Bradford City, were taken to Bolling Road Police Station. At the same time, Greater Manchester Police were making arrests in Stockport. Bradford are due to play Stockport County in their last home game of the season at Valley Parade tomorrow, though today's arrests follow trouble in Stockport itself last year. It's hoped tomorrow's game will be trouble-free.
Just one football result from the 4th Division and more disappointment tonight for bottom-placed Doncaster Rovers. They lost 1-0 at Crewe Alexandra. Finally, high-tech repairs are to be used to preserve a piece of Lincolnshire history. The jawbone of a whale, which was found beached on the shores of the Wash around 1831, has become a popular tourist attraction. But vandalism and the years have taken their toll. Now work has begun to preserve the jawbone using a watertight resin. It's being coated with fiberglass, which will protect it well into the 21st century. That's all from Calendar for tonight. We'll of course be back with the latest news at 1:05 tomorrow lunchtime. But from me, have a very good weekend. Good night.
Good evening again, and time to have a look at the weekend weather prospects across the region. Well, it's been a pretty unsettled week this week, and sadly that unsettled theme is going to continue throughout the weekend. I suppose broadly we can call it April showers. Right, we'll start by having a look at today's weather chart. Well, we can see why it was unsettled. We have low pressure up to the top left-hand corner of the picture there under today, and a weather front moving into western districts and another one way out to the east. So that gave us the cloud, that gave us the rain, and the isobars gave us the rather strong winds. And on the morning satellite picture we can translate that into cloud, and you can see a lot of cloud there ahead of that cold front, but behind it is much clearer, much more broken cloud, but there are lots of showers there in that broken cloud. And we can see how things have progressed. By early afternoon that cold front pushing on, and in fact it did clear the east coast early in this evening, and by tomorrow morning that's the way we expect the chart to look. The cold front way out of the way to the east there, but a lot of isobars. That does mean rather windy conditions, and I think a fair number of showers to come as well. So back to what's happening tonight. It's probably looks like being a reasonable night now. Most of the showers have just about died out. I think a lot of that cloud will melt away. The winds are easing off, so a reasonably fine night, but quite cold in places, as low as 3 centigrade or 37 degrees Fahrenheit. And tomorrow morning it'll be a promising start for the day, dry with lots of sunshine, but we're going to find that wind starting to freshen, clouds building, showers developing, and they are expected to become a bit more widespread as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures, though, well, near normal at about 13 centigrade, that's the mid-50s Fahrenheit, but it will feel a little bit cold in that wind. Now, Saturday night looks as though it will be dry, so a fine start to Sunday morning with some sunshine, but can see cloud increasing, and we're going to finish up by afternoon with the north perhaps having the best of the weather. Some sunshine there, but some showers. In the south, rather more in the way of cloud and perhaps more general rain. And temperatures on Sunday, well, we expect them to be much the same, again at about 13 centigrade or 55 Fahrenheit. Well, that's it from me for now, so tomorrow's summary chart.